Hello guys, welcome back to Tactical Trafford, and it is looking like Ruben Amorim is slowly changing the DNA of Manchester United, and we could see against Sunderland that Manchester United were able to play in the possession pentagon structure of Ruben Amorim that actually involves compactness, control in every phase of the play for Manchester United. And this pentagon possession shape comprises of the right central back, the right midfielder, the right wing back, and the right 10. And likewise on the left side of the pitch, it comprises of the left central back, the left wing back, the left CM, and the left 10. And this was how Ruben Amorim was able to dissect Sunderland. He was able to play through Sunderland, and also Benjamin Sesko is becoming the focal point that Ruben Amorim actually needs in his system. And it is very evident that this is something that Ruben Amorim has been working off in the training ground, and it has really paid off for Manchester United as Benjamin Sesko no longer being ignored in games. He's actually being the focal point that Ruben Amorim wants in his system to be able to improve his potential in every part of his play. So what did Benjamin Sesko, Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes what is the part they actually played in the Sunderland game that made the game to be actually very different? What did Ruben Amorim actually do very differently in that game? So guys, in this video you're going to be dissecting all that Ruben Amorim did differently in the Sunderland game that made Manchester United to stand out. So guys, let's actually start with the pentagon shape of the Ruben Amorim system. This was the shape that Ruben Amorim was using in his Sporting Lisbon days that really made him to really stand out. And this was the shape that comprises of, in this case in the Sunderland game, the right midfielder, the right central back, the right wing back, and the right 10. So this shape is basically created to be able to beat the press of the opposition, to actually Manchester United to play easily out of the press. So this was what Manchester United actually did in the Sunderland game. This four group of players actually created a 4-point structure that actually helped Manchester United to play easily away from the press, to invite the press of Sunderland and actually play very easily towards them. And it also made Manchester United to create an overload in the midfield, to also maintain width in the left wing back positions or in the various wing backs positions. So it was very easy for Manchester United to play through Sunderland using this pentagon position structure shape, and it really helped Manchester United with the way Manchester United actually dissected Sunderland. But we are going to be going into the real purpose of this video, which is actually trying to explain what Ruben Amorim did differently from other games, which made Manchester United to be actually very free-flowing. Because if you watch the Sunderland game, you're going to find out that Manchester United did not just win Sunderland, but we played in a certain way that was different from a way that we have been playing in our first 6 games in the Premier League. So guys, let's dissect how Manchester United and what Ruben Amorim actually did differently. So guys, I think the biggest improvement of the Sunderland game is that you're going to find out that Benjamin Sesko became the reference point in Manchester United. You guys could remember in my last video I made, you're going to find out that especially in the Chelsea game, Benjamin Sesko was neglected a lot of times by the Manchester United players. He was running the width, he was making a lot of constant movements in behind. Masraoui ignored him, Patrick Dogu, a lot of the Manchester United players, Casemiro, they all ignored the runs of Benjamin Sesko, Luke Shaw. They could not spot Benjamin Sesko even when he made that runs, and even when the players had the time to pass the ball. It seems that there was kind of disconnection between the players and the striker, and this is something that Ruben Amorim doesn't want, because in Ruben Amorim's system he likes to have a reference point. He likes his teams to play through the striker, which was definitely what he was going to do with Victor Gyökeres in Manchester United. So Benjamin Sesko is now the new reference point of Manchester United, and in the Sunderland game it was very evident that Manchester United were trying to look for Benjamin Sesko at every slightest movement that he made. So guys, let's look at the first example. You're going to find out that the boy is approaching Brian Mbeumo, and you could see that Brian Mbeumo, the moment he traps the ball, he is looking immediately to pass the ball into Benjamin Sesko, and Benjamin Sesko holds off the ball really well and try to pass, and Manchester United have an attacking sequence. And in another situation, you're going to find out that Luke Shaw has a free kick and he has a lot of options. You could see that Fernandes was there pointing for the direction where Luke Shaw is going to play, but Luke Shaw immediately plays to Benjamin Sesko, which was making a very nice runs in behind the defender. And this is something that Manchester United has really lacked, and Benjamin Sesko also made similar runs in the Chelsea game, and Luke Shaw and Patrick Dogu ignored him kind of left side. But you're going to find out that in the Sunderland game, Shaw made the pass, even though the pass was not really accurate, but you're going to find out that that pass was made out of a real intent. And then going over to the other example, you're going to find out that Dalot has a throw in, and then he has several options, also easy options to keep the ball. but instead he went very long with the throw into Benjamin Sesko, and you could see Mount making that little runs in behind. And even though the flick on doesn't get to Mount, you're going to find out that this is a very nice attacking sequence that is being used by Ruben Amorim to make Sesko the reference point, to make a lot of players to be running off Benjamin Sesko while he makes that hold up, he makes that link up, and he tries to put the team together. So this is definitely something that Ruben Amorim wanted to be doing with Victor Gyokeres in Manchester United, but Benjamin Sesko is doing his work very, very well. And you're also going to find out that in the Brentford game, in so many occasions, Benjamin Sesko was also being found by the Manchester United players. He was constantly being played into the game. You're going to find out that, especially when Erik ten Hag was the coach of Manchester United, most of the times Rasmus Højlund was being isolated as the striker. We were not playing through him. We were not playing through Rasmus Højlund a lot. But I feel that in this Ruben Amorim system, and with the way he likes his striker to be running the width constantly, definitely you're going to find that Benjamin Sesko is going to be more and more into the games of Manchester United. He's going to be more involved in our games, like other previous strikers has been in Manchester United over the years. So you're going to find out that in the Sunderland game, Benjamin Sesko was into the game. You're going to find out that the training groundwork that Ruben Amorim is doing, making Benjamin Sesko as a reference point of Manchester United, is definitely working. So guys, we are still in the business of talking about what Ruben Amorim did very well in the Sunderland game, what he actually did differently. And I think what I'm going to commend Ruben Amorim is the way he used Sesko and Mbeumo in that Sunderland game. So what he was looking to do was that he was planning to use Sesko and Mbeumo from stopping the pass into Granit Xhaka. So what he was doing was that he was trying to use Sesko and Mbeumo to, try to block those passing lanes. Manchester United was very conservative with their pressing. I think we were pressing with a 5-3-2 shape. So Manchester United was very conservative. We were not pressing aggressively like we were pressing in other games to force turnovers from the opposition team. So what Manchester United was looking to do was to block that passing lane to their key distributor, which is Xhaka, and then forcing Sunderland in an area which they are not comfortable in. And so they are not comfortable in wide areas, so Manchester United constantly force Sunderland into the wide zones. They're definitely going to make them to lose possession and try to stop them from creating anything sensitive in the game. And that was actually what happened in the Sunderland game. Sesko and Mbeumo were making complementary movements. So in situation whereby, in the first example, Sesko is trying to block the passing lanes while Mbeumo is trying to cover Granit Xhaka from actually getting the ball. Also in the situation whereby Mbeumo initiates the press and tries to press wide and high, you're going to find out that Sesko is going to be the one tracking Granit Xhaka and trying to block the passing lane and trying to squeeze the passing lanes of the opposition as much as possible. And Manchester United, when they were also conservative in the press and letting the fullbacks and the central backs of Sunderland to be playing, what they were looking to do was that whenever the ball went wide, Mr. Mount is definitely going to press wide and try to prevent Sunderland from playing through, and also prevent the midfielders of Manchester United from pressing high, which is going to expose us in those central zones. So this was how Ruben Amorim was able to use Sesko and Mbeumo to block the passing lanes of Sunderland and trying to squeeze them as much as possible. And so guys, you're also going to find out that the conservative press of Ruben Amorim actually had like a form of vulnerability, because at some point when Manchester United were not looking to be coordinated in the conservative press, you could see in the first instance Mbeumo put his hand wide. He's trying to initiate the press, and then he initiates the press, and then he created a lot of pocket spaces behind it. You could see that Fernandes presses, and then Manchester United have a whole lot of space to cover behind. Manchester United had a whole lot of space to cover behind, and you could see that situations whereby also Benjamin Sesko decided to press, it was very easy for the opposition to beat his press, and then Manchester United also had a lot of space to cover. And you could see that there are moments whereby there was a lot of sloppiness, particularly from Bruno Fernandes. He was very sloppy on the ball. Most of the times he was ball watching, which actually explains the fact that he's not a central midfielder and he cannot be able to really do what Ruben Amorim and Manchester United expects him to do in that central midfield role, because he doesn't have a lot of athleticism and the strength to continuously track the players down. So this is definitely what is going to create some kind of loopholes in the system of Ruben Amorim, because in the sense of that most of the times he's going to get his tactics right, he's going to do his assignment very well, but sometimes some of the lapses and the vulnerability of the players is going to come out, and this is going to try to hamper the long-term sustainability of the system. So guys, what we actually saw from Ruben Amorim in the Sunderland game was his clear blueprints from the Sporting CP days. We saw a lot of tactical discipline off the ball. We saw the reference on the focal point, which is definitely using Benjamin Sesko to link up and to play through opposition players. And then we also saw that he was able to, bring his structured pentagon possession shape into the Manchester United system. Even though it is not perfect yet, but you're going to find that Ruben Amorim is making some kind of progress in terms of his tactical awareness. He's trying to be more flexible now, even though we were very stiff in our first 6 games. You're going to find out that Ruben Amorim is trying to change things. He's trying to make sure that we at least get results in games. So I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford, as I'll be making more videos on Manchester United and all the tactical philosophies and all the tactical swiftness and changes from Ruben Amorim. So see you guys in my next video. Ciao.